God's gonna bring you out for my good. Don't you worry. He's working it out. Brother, don't you fret. Because the Lord God's gonna work it. Yes, He is. Hey. As long as I know things will work out for me. Come on, clap your hands.
Good day, good day. This is Evangelist Lanyel right here on WEHA. We have gospel. We are Christ-centered. We are a focused radio station, and we are ready to give God some praise today. Stay tuned for our noonday prayer. Listen in again to Ricky Dillard and Nuji. The new things will work out for me. Let's listen.
I have to sing a song to the Lord. Because pressure comes, and sometimes I forget, but I have to say this to the Lord sometime. Whatever you do for me, Queenie, however things turn out to be, as long as He's in control, I know things will work out for me. Can I get a witness in here tonight? Come on, choir, help me sing this tonight. Whatever you do for me, it don't matter now however things turn out to be, just as long as you're in, I know things will work out for me. But before I leave you, I want to leave this message with you. Oh, your troubles and trials, your troubles and trials only come. They only come to make you strong. Hey, I reckon that the present sufferings can't be compared
All right, all right, all right. What a mighty God we serve. Angels bow before him. Heaven and earth adore him. We do serve a mighty God. Hey, hey, hey. This is Evangelist Laniel right here on WEHA. We have gospel 88.7 FM, 100.3 FM in Atlantic City. We are Christ-centered, community-focused, a listener-supported radio station. I will be here with you throughout the week. Hallelujah. Starting on today until next week, 12 noonday prayer. Somebody say noonday prayer. You need to jump in on noonday prayer. Tell your neighbors, tell your sister, your mama, your daddy, tell your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, tell your neighbors, tell the community. If you want to have prayer at noonday, tune in to 88.7 FM and 100.3 FM. Go ahead on the Facebook, go on the Instagram, go on the YouTube, go ahead and look in. We are hosting our prayer, and in times like these, we need prayer. Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness out there that somebody will say, we need prayer? Listen, also, before we go further with our announcements and with our prayer for this afternoon, I want to let you know how you can donate to the radio station. We need your help. We need your help here at the radio station. So you can come to 3 Canali Drive and drop off a donation. Hallelujah. I know they say stay 6 feet apart from people. So won't you just slip something through the door or send it in the mail, or you can go to our Facebook page, or you can go to our website and hit donate. Hallelujah. And you go ahead and donate what you would like to donate to the radio station to keep this radio station going. Listen, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I'm going to say it again. This is the day that the Lord has made. Hallelujah. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. You just listened, you just heard Ricky Dillard say, things are working out for us. I know with people laying on their bed of affliction, I know with your emotions going all kinds of ways. Some of you don't know what to trust. You don't know if to trust the news or trust your neighbors or those that are calling into you to say this is what they're saying next. Hallelujah. But I'm here to tell you, hallelujah, Ricky Dillard just confirmed and decreed over our airways that things are working out for us. Hallelujah. Minute by minute, second by second, hour by hour, we decree and we declare that miracles will come forth in the name of Jesus. If you're on my live, go ahead and share. If you're on Facebook Live or for WEHA, go ahead and share. Hallelujah. We will be on every day starting on today for the week from Monday to Friday, okay? From Monday to Friday. It is working out for us, believers. Hallelujah. I'm not going to say that we're so super spiritual, hallelujah, that you got that Superman cape on or that Wonder Woman cape on and you soaring through. God has given us wisdom, and whichever way that God gives you wisdom, let the wisdom be applied to your life. Come on, Zion. Let the wisdom be applied to your life. And so I want to encourage you out there in radio land. I want to encourage you out there on the internet that we are covered by the blood of Jesus Christ and that God is over COVID-19. We are just in a process, and whatever this process is that God is trying to get out of our lives, hallelujah, he's putting us back into order again. He has shut down many things that would have entertained our flesh and tickled our emotions, and now he's putting us in a place where I don't need you in those places no more. I need you to be on your knees praying. I need you to be lifting up your hands, giving God glory. I need you to be shutting down from negative things. Listen, I had somebody call me the other day, and people keep calling. Did you hear what the news said? Did you hear this and did you hear that? I had to tell them, don't call me no more but what you hear. My spirit is sitting in a certain place, and I need it to be renewed, rejuvenated. So I'm fortifying myself with the word of God. I'm fortifying myself with worship and praying. Hallelujah. And I want to be around those people that think the same. Yes, this is going on in our world, but I believe that God is greater, and because he is the greatest power, we will not be defeated. Come on, Zion. I feel glory in this place. Hallelujah. And so let us go ahead. I'm not going to be long with you, but I do want you to go ahead and donate and send your love gifts into WEHA 3 Canale Drive, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, or go ahead and hit on that website button, donate, hallelujah, so that we can keep coming and doing these types of things. We're praying for Deacon Hawks, El Presidente. We're praying for the Hawks family in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. We're praying for all of the DJs that come on the radio. We're praying for our community. We're praying for our city officials. We're praying for our government in the name of Jesus. We are praying. Somebody out there, if you're praying with me, I need to know that you are praying with me. Come on, Zion. Come on, people of God. Would you lift up your hands and lift up your worship right now and give God some praise? Hallelujah. For what's to come is better than what's been. And I know you don't see it right now because the news is telling you this, and the newspaper is saying this, and people are whispering in your ear. But if you can take and put a shield over your spirit and allow yourself to believe that God, hallelujah, he's working it out for us. Yeah, God, you are working it out for us. Hallelujah. No limit, no boundaries. Hallelujah. Just increase all around us. So, Father, we thank you and we praise you. We give you glory and we give you honor, for this is the day that you have made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. And before we go any further with our prayer, God, we ask that you forgive us in thought, word, or deed, that we have sinned against you, we have missed the mark, we have messed up in some kind of way. God, you are bringing us down to our knees. You said, if my people, which are called by my name, would humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then and only then will we hear from you. God, we're here. We're on our face. We're praying unto you this afternoon that you would move in our community, that you would move across this land, that you would send increase of healing, that God, you would do the extraordinary that is needed to silence the devil concerning what's going on in the name of Jesus. Father, I pray against for every city official. I pray for every essential worker. I pray for every elderly person. I pray for every person that is in fear. I pray and we give them over to you. We give all these cares unto you. We give all our worries unto you. We give our families unto you. We give this radio station unto you. Sterilize us under your blood in the name of Jesus, God. God, we thank you and we praise you. God, we need you now to go to every bedside where COVID-19 is. God, destroy the strength that is going through people's lungs. I pray that every bed where people are laying, in the name of Jesus, that you put them on a bed of healing. I pray in the name of Jesus that God, you will send life back into the body. God, we pray against the death angel. We pray against premature death. We pray that you would give us an antidote. We pray, God, that you would move swiftly, that your angelic host will be with us in all our ways. Said healing in the name of Jesus over the airways, over the byways, in the stores, in the doctor's office, in the hospital, wherever, hallelujah, saints are. We pray in the name of Jesus that you move, that you abide, and that you rule. Holy Spirit, we give you permission to rule in the name of Jesus. Holy Spirit, we give you permission to do increase in this land. Every hour, hallelujah. Every minute, hallelujah. Every second, hallelujah. God, we give you, hallelujah, COVID-19. You can handle it. You are the author, hallelujah, and the finisher, hallelujah, of our faith, God. We thank you and we praise you. We glorify you and we lift you up. For this is the day that you have breathed life into our bodies, and we accept it. So we'll do what we have to do because we need our miracle. We need our breakthrough. We need a way to be made for those that are in the shut-in. Father, thank you. I'm going to say thank you for the quarantine. I'm going to say thank you for allowing us to be to ourselves. I'm going to say thank you, God, that you told us that these days will come where plagues and locusts and all kinds of manners would take precedence in the earthly realm, but no weapon that has been formed against us shall prosper, and every tongue that rises up against us you shall condemn. You are the condemning God. You look high and you sit low. You know, God, there is nothing that is happening on this earthly realm that can happen to us except you give it permission. And so, Father, we thank you for he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Cover us under your shadow. Cover us under your shadow. Cover us under your shadow. Set protection across this land. Get into our counties. Get into our cities. Get into our countries. Go across every country in the name of Jesus. And I plead the blood. Sever the tie of COVID-19. Destroy the root of COVID-19. Demolish COVID-19 and its effects. I plead the blood of Jesus. Satan, the Lord thy God rebuke you. The hand of God is against you. We send you COVID-19 into the fire of God. Holy Ghost, take refuge. Holy Ghost, burn it up. Holy Ghost, do what you have to do. We need our miracle and we need our breakthrough. Father, we thank you. And we praise you that you're covering every elderly person. We thank you, and we thank you that you're covering the leaders of our community. We thank you, and we praise you, God, that you're doing what you have to do. You're setting us aside for great works, God. We don't take it for granted. We don't take it for naught, God. You're doing this for a reason, God. Hallelujah. Sickness is not your portion, but God, everywhere that the enemy lacks and lingering, every soothsayer, every devilish hellhound, every snake that is slithering, God, every celestial thing that is coming up in our atmospheres, we pray against it by the fire of God. I plead the blood of Jesus over every household. God, you said where you see the blood, you will pass over. So, Father, we're praying now that you will pass over our houses from sickness, from disease, from whatever the enemy is trying to say. Whoever wants to see us cry, whoever wants to see us broken, whoever wants to see us go down, may they fall to their own plans and plots. God, you are separating us to see ourselves, to get ourselves ready for the next revival that shall hit this land. Father, you are pushing us aside to get ourselves regiment, to bring order. Father, you are pushing us aside to get every element of our heart dealt with. You're making us look at ourselves. So, Father, if we've been holding unforgiveness in our heart, I ask now, God, that you forgive us. If we've been holding anything that separates us from your altar, I pray now in the name of Jesus that you forgive us. Father, I pray now in the name of Jesus that you would get in our way, that you would get in our path, in the name of Jesus. Come on, somebody. You ought to pray. Come on, come on, come on. Come on and pray. Come on and seek God's face. We pray for all the leaders of our community. Father, I believe that this separation is going on, that you are regimenting leaders across this land, that when, Father, they get back into the pulpit, healing, miracles, and deliverance shall be our portion. God, when we walk into the sanctuary, Father, clear out the sanctuary as we're every home, God. Let your angelic hosts take precedence in the sanctuary and move and guide and do what it has to do. For when we walk in, let limbs grow back. Let cancer dry up in the name of Jesus. Whatever elements of the body be healed, be delivered, and be set free. Father, we thank you for the time of separation, for you're bringing us down to our knees. If my people, which are called by my name, would humble themselves and pray, God, you're putting us in a position where we wouldn't be humbled. God, and now you're making us get down on our knees, turn from our wicked ways, taking back the bitterness we have towards one another, taking back the knives we put on each other's back, taking back all of the things that we have said against the kingdom of God, said against the people of God. You God, you're putting us in order now, hallelujah, to take back every illegal transaction that we have taken place in. Father, you're taking back, you're making us get on our knees, turn from our wicked ways, holding grudges against one another. God, you're putting us on our knees, taking us back to the place, hallelujah. So instead of us making mess in the kingdom and making mess, hallelujah, in our families and deciphering and killing one another, God, you're putting us in order now. You're saying that these things cannot reside in the kingdom. Father, you're bringing us down to our knees to turn from our wicked ways, turn from people that don't want to go your way. Turn, God. You're causing a shift to have us in a place of surrenderance, God. We surrender our will. We surrender our way. Hallelujah. We surrender our thoughts, God. You're putting us in the place where we seek you first for every direction, for every way, God. You're putting us in a place, God, instead of enjoying the fleshly things, you are, God, giving us time to get it right for you. God, we thank you for mercy. We thank you for grace. We thank you in the name of Jesus that the blood be applied all across this nation, all across our countries, all across us, in our children's hearts, in our children's minds. Get in their path, God. Get into those that have left the kingdom, the backsliders. Bring them back into places that you can use them for your glory, God. We pray now, God, that you would have your way over our mindsets, over our stinking thinking, over the ways of the wicked in our hearts, God. If there's anything that is in our bloodline that separates us from you, in the name of Jesus, Father, we pray now, any illegal transaction that has been in our bloodlines, from our mothers to our fathers, that Father, in the name of Jesus, that you would get in the way, God. Get into the homes and do what you have to do. Bring unity back. Bring humility back, God. Bring families back, God. In the name of Jesus, God, we pray that sisters of Christ, that sisters of any religion will come together and join together and bring about a change for the other young ladies that are coming up in our communities, in our states, that are looking at us, that may not ever, hallelujah, pick up a Bible, that may not ever, hallelujah, go to a church, but they look at us and they call us to church. Father, forgive us if we turn people away from your kingdom. Father, forgive us, hallelujah, if we turn people away from the church. Father, we pray now in the name of Jesus that if there's any man, God, that has not been leading, hallelujah, under you, and their flesh has gotten the best in them, Father, I pray for the men of the household. I pray for the men of the community. I pray for fathers in the name of Jesus. Father, that you, God, would order the fathers of our community, that you would order the men of our community, that they, God, will go out into the streets and pull men in, pull young men off the streets, tell them how how great they are. God, that you would give them permission to speak life back to a young man. God, we pray today that any child that has been lost and confused, lost in a fight, bickering with their parents, go against the laws of the land, that God, you would summons them by the Holy Ghost. Holy Ghost, take refuge. Holy Ghost, capture them. Holy Ghost, make them be stabled in the name of Jesus. Cause their feet not to move, God. I pray, God, that God, you would mess with them in their dreams. I pray, Father, that you would mess with parents in their dreams. I pray that you would mess with our president in his dreams. I pray, God, that you would mess with our city officials in their dreams, God. Don't let them rest until they do what they have to do concerning our miracle. Don't let them rest, God, until they go where they're supposed to go concerning our presence, God. God, I name it in the name of Jesus that every knee shall bow and every tongue that rises up you will condemn. Don't let there be ungodly laws being permissioned in this land. Any soothsayer, any devil working overtime to see us falter, may he fall into his own trap. May he fall into his own ways. May he fall as the words are being spoken out of his mouth. In the name of Jesus, demons flee. In the name of Jesus, we have the victory today. God, I ask that every gate of our soul be covered under the blood. I pray, God, in the name of Jesus, that you would move by your spirit every minute, every hour, every second, in the name of Jesus. God, strangle COVID-19, suffocate COVID-19, get into the medication of COVID-19, get into the doctors of COVID-19, get into the way, hallelujah, of COVID-19. I decree, hallelujah, a fresh blood, a fresh appearance, a freshness in the name of Jesus. Father, I pray in the name of Jesus that COVID-19 will not claim another life. I pray, God, in the name of Jesus, by your will, that your will be done against COVID-19. Father, I pray that the fear of COVID-19 goes back to the pit of hell where it belongs. Father, I pray in the name of Jesus against every working against COVID-19. I pray that the sterilization will work in our land, with our families, with our children, with our churches, with the community, in the name of Jesus. I pray not just about COVID-19, but cancer, dry up, lupus, dry up, high blood pressure, dry up, rheumatoid arthritis, dry up, bipolar, dry up, any schisms and isms that have been dealing with our mental state, dry up under the blood of Jesus Christ. Father, we pray today that you would move, that you would reside, and that you would, God, get your glory in this land. We pray for every pastor. We pray for every ministry. We pray in the name of Jesus for elder pastors, God. We pray for the fivefold ministry, that it will not faint, it will not lose, it will get the glory out of this assignment in the name of Jesus. We pray that every worshiper will worship. We pray that every prayer warrior will stand post. We pray that every assignment be fulfilled in the name of Jesus. I pray, Jesus, that you would come in and sweep the line, sweep with your glory, sweep in the name of Jesus, sweep out any infection that has been, God, bombarding our atmosphere. We pray in the name of Jesus that people that are holding grudges will recognize the time that we have been tested. Don't slip away because of foolishness of the soul and foolishness of the heart. Father, Father, we pray, your will be done in the name of Jesus. We give you glory and we give you honor. We're worshiping you even now. We're giving you praise now. For what's to come is better than what's been. You're working it out for our good. In the name of Jesus. Father, shield us. Shield many of us that are doing your will, that are walking in your way. God, shield us. But for all of us, I don't care if it's a leader. I don't care if it's a pew taker. I don't care what religion they're in. Father, I pray in the name of Jesus that, Father, we recognize that these are praying times. I'm not calling on any type of religion. I'm calling on everybody, the humanity, to get in order by the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan, the Lord thy God, rebuke you. Bring us back into love. Bring us back into unity. Bring us back into family order. In the name of Jesus, I believe, God, you are separating us for a time like this. Hallelujah. Because we put things before you without seeking you. We put people before you without seeking you. We've been doing things that we did not seek you first. Hallelujah. And we pray now that you forgive us in thought, word, and deed. We pray, God, that you would move by your power divine. We pray, God, we can't stop praying. We can't give up until, God, you release us from every infection upon this land. We pray, God, that you, God, will send restoration, send hope, restore, reconstruct, in the name of Jesus. I pray, God, hallelujah, God, that we would turn from our wicked ways. We pray, that, God, you surround us with the angelic help of healing. Jehovah, be with us. Jehovah, hallelujah, may Shiloh bombard us. Hallelujah. Send us up higher. Quicken our quicken our spirits, God. In the name of Jesus, God, we pray, Father, for another turning, for another time, that you would move by your power divine. In the name of Jesus. God, I bless you and I praise you and I thank you, for this is the day that you have made. We shall rejoice and we shall be glad in it. In the name of Jesus. This is the time that we're living through history. And Father, we thank you for the time that you are giving us to see history manifested. But on the other side of this trial, there is a miracle being restored, being made, being released from the heavens. And we, God, you have separated us because we were out of our positions. Some of us have missed the blessings that you had for us in the name of Jesus, because we were out of timing, because we were out of our positions. And now, God, we have no other place but to sit still and watch you move by your manifested power. Send forth strength from on high. In the name of Jesus, we give you glory and we give you honor. We thank you for this time of testing. We thank you, God, hallelujah, that you're keeping us for a time like this. This is the day that you have made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. I want you once again to listen in.
What's the difference between
Professor Ricky Dillard, as he goes forth to tell us that it's working out for all things are working together for the good of them that love him. Hallelujah. For the good of them that seek him. For the good of them that knows that God is in full control.
Doesn't matter what you're going through, just as long as you know who's going with you. Can I get a witness?
Oh, God, we thank you.
And every time that I'm in the storm, I have to sing a song to the Lord. Because pressure comes, and sometimes I forget, but I have to say this to the Lord sometimes. Whatever you do for me,
Whatever
Queenie,
you do for me.
However, things turn out to be.
Yeah, God. Hallelujah. We bless you.
As long as he's in,
As long as you're
control.
in control. Yeah, God, you're in control.
I
I know.
things will work out
Things will work out
for me.
for me.
Can I get a
Do I
witness
have
in
a
here
witness
tonight?
out there that can say, as
Come
long
on,
as
choir,
he's
help me
in
sing this
control,
tonight.
it's going to work out for me. Whatever he is doing. Hallelujah.
Whatever you do for me, it don't matter now however things turn out to be, just as long as you're in. I know things will work out for me. But before I leave you, I want to leave this message with you. Oh, your troubles and trials only come. They only come to make you strong. Hey, I reckon that the present sufferings can't be compared to the Lord's glory in you. Thank you, Jesus. This is the part that I like. And if you don't know this tonight, know that all things work together for the good of them who love the Lord. All things. Don't you worry about a thing. They're working together. Yeah, for the good. As long as you're in, I know things will work out for me. Come on, clap your hands.
Hallelujah. Things are working out for us. You better believe it and trust God. Remember, this is Evangelist Laniel right here on WEHA. We have gospel. Hallelujah. We are Christ-centered. We are community-focused. Hallelujah. We are a listener supported radio station. 88.7 FM and 100.3 FM in Atlantic City. You can also go to our website, WEHA, hallelujah, and go ahead and tap in, hallelujah. You can also go to our website. If you were blessed by today, would you send an offering? Would you send a seed? Would you send a gift into WEHA? You can send it to 3 Canali Drive, hallelujah, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, 08234, 3 Canali Drive, Egg Harbor Township, 08234, or you can come to the radio station, hallelujah, or you can go on the website, WEHA, and send in your gift, hallelujah, send in an offering. Keep this radio station going so that we can keep these prayers, keep these words that are coming forth. Hallelujah. We decree and we shield us under the blood of Jesus Christ. In the name of Jesus, I'll meet you on Monday. Somebody say Monday. We'll meet you on Monday. Hallelujah. And until we see you again, may you be shielded and covered under the blood of Jesus Christ. This is Evangelist Lanyo. Keep this radio station covered. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen. God bless you.